Hey guys, it's Jen over at worldofjencraft.com, and this is today's project, Mr. Piggy. Well, of course I had to make another one because there are 4 piggies total, so be on the lookout for one more after this. I am having so much fun playing with these. They are just too cute and I cannot get enough of them. Let's get to the supplies and I will show you how I put this one together. It's pretty simple, pretty quick. Well, yeah, I mean, at least I think so. I use the black shimmer ribbon. Loving this stuff. Just break out into song. The banner triple punch. That's what that is. That is a mouthful to say. The Pinewood Planks embossing folder, my new favorite, especially with the pigs. I love the texture that it brings to the cards using this. And stamp set. This is it. Third time you guys have seen it. If you haven't seen my other cards, I will bring them out at the end of the video and show them to you. And then if you want, you can check them out on my website or on my YouTube videos. So this is it. This is the very last final piggy, so I'll be playing with that a little bit later. The dies, that's what they're called, that I am using are the Stitch Shapes framelits and the Layering Squares framelits. I love how these coordinate with all of our circles, our ovals, and our squares in the framelits. Just perfect. The basic black archival stamp pad and pool party are what I used for this card, along with 4 Stampin' Up markers, and I will list out the colors and then tell you what they are as I'm coloring them. And then the Wink of Stella, of course. I wouldn't want to disappoint you guys by not using it. Paper, I used a 5.5 by 8.5 basic black cardstock scored at 4 1/4 for the card base. The square is 2 7/8 inches. Pool Party cardstock is 4 by 5 1/4 and a 3-inch scalloped square. I don't know if you guys saw these earlier. These are the 3 dies that I used for this project. Whisper White cardstock for the inside is 3 3/4 by 5. Powder Pink 2 by 5 for the banner. Pear Pizzazz is 2 3/8 by 3 3/8. A shimmery white cardstock. I love using this for coloring on. The markers just seem to glide over the top of it. So this stitched square is 2 5/8. And then look at this DSP. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? This is from the Whole Lot of Lovely. And this piece is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Let's get to coloring our little sweet cute piggy. And he is just going to get colored in powder pink. And the way I colored him is I kind of took like longer strokes in my coloring, being careful not to really go back over the previous stroke. So once I was done going over the image once with the powder pink, I did come back up with the same color. And I just kind of colored in his ears a little bit just to give a little bit of dimension to him. I'm not an expert colorer by any means, but I do like how it gives a little bit of extra interest for the eye to look at. I guess I did forget to color in. I think I might come back in with a darker color for his... Oh, and you know what? I also gave him cute little cheeks. So it made him even happier. And I just, just little simple round circles for that. Then what I did is I came back over with the Flirty Flamingo and I colored in his snout with that. I did look on Google just to kind of see how some of the cartoon piggies are colored in. And the one thing I noticed is they would keep like the body about the same color, and then the snout was always a little bit different colored pink. So I really liked this with using it on his little snout. For the grass, I used Pear Pizzazz, And I didn't do anything special with it. I did try to kind of keep it in smaller strokes just because our grass isn't even. So I kind of try to keep it in like little uneven strokes on the bottom. And then I did come up where the grass was a little bit longer on the stamp and just kind of highlighted that a little bit. And that's it for the green. That's all I did. Just a little bit of added interest in there. And I came in with Early Espresso and I colored in his little hooves, however you say it. I guess I want to enunciate all of the O's in it. So that is it for the piggy. And then they have this really cute cloud that is in the stamp set. So I brought in my pool party and I stamped second generation on this. I'm trying to see if I can get my card in the picture along with everything else. So I just went ahead and stamped off the first time and put a cloud down here, put a cloud kind of floating up here a little bit, and then I did another one kind of off and over here. And this is where our Wink of Stella comes in. Even though we're using shimmer cardstock, I did like the extra shimmer inside of the clouds. And I had to find some excuse to use the Wink of Stella on this card. I resisted coloring his whole body in. I really wanted to, trust me, like I did the last one because I thought it turned out so stinking cute. But I just stuck to the clouds and called it good on this one. I think I'm going to have to start buying these Wink of Stellas by the box. All right, so that's that. We're going to set that aside, and then we're just going to go ahead and build our card base. And so the pool party is going to be our first layer. And this one I did keep 1/4 of an inch smaller in size, so a 4x5 1/4. But then I brought in our DSP. Make sure I have this kind of, I think it goes up and down like this. So I brought in our DSP and I did this one 1/8 of an inch smaller, so 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, because I just wanted a little tiny hint of that pool party peeking out from behind it, just to give a little bit of separation between the blacks. And I really liked the way that turned out. While I have this, and before I forget, because I usually do, until after my video is over and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to do the inside. Well, this one, I generally don't put anything on the inside of my cards. There was a discussion about this on one of the boards that one of the Facebook groups that I'm in. And there's a lot of people who do. And I just don't, because by the time I am done coming up with whatever it is I'm doing on the front, I just don't have it in me to do anything on the inside. But this little sentiment says, this little piggy, ... So I thought, well, I can't really just leave them guessing as to what this little piggy, ... So this little stamp, and if I can get it on here straight and in the middle, says thanks. So this will be a little thank you card. There is another sentiment in here that says loves you. So you could always use that too, and maybe even find a way to incorporate it in the front. But so this is my thank you card. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put on our, what's it called? Pear Pizzazz. But first, I need to cut my banner. So if I can figure out how to stick this in here. And what I did is, instead of going all the way down to the bottom of this, I brought my cardstock so I could see the edges, and then I pulled it up just so I could see the very ends of that, and then I punched it out. So here's our banner. So when I put this on, I'm going to go ahead and adhere, or put the adhesive on, and my placement is going to be my banner for this, because I wanted it as far over as I could get it, but I didn't want the green peeking out from the end of the banner. So keeping your top and bottom even and just bringing it so you can't see any of the green through the banner. This is how I put that on. Then we're going to take my new favorite embossing folder. I promise I won't overuse it. Well, I don't know, maybe I will. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. So I went ahead and put it in between like these little planks. And that's how I lined this up. And that's just going to go through here. Again, with these thicker embossing folders, if you haven't seen any of my other videos, if you're new to me, you only need to use one of these plates because these are super thick. Now, for this particular project, I used, so this is the emboss side where it goes down into the paper, and then there's the, I guess, deboss side, so where you actually feel the texture of it coming up. And I thought I would use that for this card because I really like the added texture that this part gives. So I guess I'm doing it wrong. If there is a wrong and right, maybe there isn't. It's just personal preference. So this is going to go ahead and get stuck on the front after we put our ribbon on it. And that's going to go about 1/4 of an inch over, maybe a little bit over. And I'm just going to wrap this around. And I'm going to wait to tie my knot until I have it completely adhered onto my paper, because there's nothing more aggravating than trying to tie a knot on a piece of paper that's not attached. So I'm just making sure I have a good amount of adhesive so this all sticks down. I guess that kind of moved on me a little bit. All right, and that's going to go right here in the center, if you can get it. So just like that. And then we're going to go ahead and put our little piggy on top of our basic black cardstock. And then that's going to go on top of the scallop, which I love how all of these just perfectly fit together. So it's just going to have a little bit of that pool party peeking out. And this is going to get pop dotted with my remaining. See, I'm almost done using this one. I love that there's absolutely no waste in these. And for this piece, I'm placing it so it is even from the top, side, and bottom of my pear pizzazz piece. I guess as even as I can get it. So there's that, and then let's go ahead and get on our knot, which I just decided a knot was enough for this card because it has a lot going on with the pattern and the, you know, DSP and then the banner being embossed. So I thought, you know what, let's just put a knot on here and call it good. And I kept this a little bit shorter for my knot. So that's our card. So stinking adorable, don't you think? I love the bright colors with that black background. I just thought it turned out pretty darn sweet. And of course the pig, I think, makes the whole entire card, but that's just me. So let me bring out the other two cards that I have made, just in case you missed my other videos. Let's see if I can get them all in one space. Maybe? There. Don't those just make you happy? So I'm going to come up with the fourth one, and I should have it posted tomorrow. If not tomorrow, for sure on Monday. But I'm hoping to get started and kind of play around with it. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. If you would like the dimensions to any of these cards, I do have them listed on my website, worldofjencraft.com, along with a printable, downloadable PDF that has the dimensions and the shopping list for all the supplies that I use for these cards. Thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a super wonderful day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.